Hi, I'm Nilou, and I love playing with Middle Eastern flavors in my cooking. And honestly, you can't get more Middle Eastern than lamb meatballs, sometimes called kefte or kufte. Now, in a bowl of ground lamb, I'm gonna add panko, which is gonna give us a little bit of crunch and texture, and also is gonna actually make your meatballs a little bit softer. So if you don't use panko, which you can not use, you're gonna end up with like a little bit more of a dense meatball, which I don't think is ideal for what we're going for. I'm gonna add some grated onion. I've got a good tip for you with onions. When you're grating them, they often fall apart. Obviously you would peel it, but then peel it backwards like this so that you actually have a little handle for yourself, and then cut across the equator. Now, if you cut across the equator, the pieces are gonna stay closer together and you're gonna be more likely not to lose pieces of onion as you're grating. So here we go. We've got our onion that goes in there that's grated. We've got some beautiful parsley, which makes everything fresher and definitely adds to our Middle Eastern flavors. We've got 1 egg for binding. We have our beautiful, super decadent Panda brand oyster sauce by Lee Kum Kee. And what's great about this sauce is that it's gonna add a real depth of flavor to a dish that you're making really quickly. And so the idea of getting a ton of flavor, a ton of oomph, a ton of impact in a dish that is being made in less than 30 minutes is amazing. We're just gonna add some salt. I'm gonna add some pepper, and voila. I would usually grind my pepper, but I already ground it and left it here. A little word about mise en place, which is what it's called when you put everything in its place. So it's great to have everything done, you put everything away, and then cleanup is a breeze. In fact, look at how quickly we're gonna get to clean up, and done. So now is when the fun begins. You could obviously use a spatula to do this, but I like to get my hands in there and mix everything up. The way that you can tell when all the ingredients are mixed well enough is when you have an even distribution of the parsley into the mix. So you'll see, you'll have some stuff at the bottom, you'll squish it around. You don't want to overwork your meat. This is a good rule. Don't go crazy with working it. You kind of want to get everything in there. Voila, that took all of less than a minute. All right. On to the next step. Okay, so my favorite part of this lamb meatball recipe is the tool that I get to use, which is this super cute mini ice cream scoop. I mean, the key is make sure after you use it for this, really wash it so that if next time you use it for ice cream, you don't end up with meatball-y ice creams. So you're just gonna measure out a little bit less than a whole scoop. We don't want them to be too big because they're going into a pita, and boom, they're so easy to get out. And that way, once you measure them out, you can do all of them at once so your hands don't get too dirty, and then we're gonna roll them all. Honestly, the spacing doesn't matter. These aren't gonna expand in the oven. The key is we're gonna put them in the oven and we're gonna put them under the broiler so they get nice and brown, and then you're gonna shake the pan 2 or 3 times while they're cooking so they cook evenly. That way you don't have to take out the whole pan, use the tongs, get all sweaty. And now we roll them. You can wet your hands a little bit if you want to make sure that they don't stick, but these shouldn't stick too much. And if they do, you can just wash your hands. Not a science at all. We put a little bit of spray oil on the pan just so that it would be, it wouldn't stick, but these won't stick because meatballs have a little bit of fat in them, so we're in good shape there. Okay, so meatballs are rolled. We're gonna drizzle them with, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It's really not an exact science, it's just more so we can get them a little bit browner, and I think that's good. And then we're gonna shake them around when they go in the oven so everything will end up getting coated. And now that the meatballs are done, they're gonna go in the oven, and presto, and they're done. Look at these beauties. Hold on, they're hot. Okay, I wish I could take a bite right now, but these are crispy, and look at how beautiful they are. I am excited about these meatballs. I have the pitas cut in half, some cucumbers that I've sliced pretty thin so they can give us some extra crunch, and obviously the lettuce, some Greek yogurt that I've added a little salt to for a little bit of flavor. This is the super secret sexy sauce that I'm gonna tell you about in a second, and peppers that aren't too spicy but just will look great color-wise. We gotta get our pitas toasted. I like to do this right on the stovetop. It's fun to do with your friends. As long as someone isn't drinking too much, they can be in charge of grilling the pitas, get them nice and toasty. And once they're crispy, we begin by putting a little bit of yogurt on one side of the pita flip it around and add our magical shug, which is Yemenite. And then we're gonna throw in some of our lettuce. I like butter lettuce because it's crunchy and pretty. And if you were gonna not wanna have pitas, you could just basically make these protein style with just these lettuce cups, which we do sometimes at home. I gotta get these pretty ribbons of cucumber. I'm gonna do 2. I am prone to overfilling. If it's tacos, I overfill. If it's pitas, I overfill. But I feel like it's generous and I like it. There we go, 1, 2, these are so hot still. And 1 more for good measure, yes. And then we're gonna add these puppies, chilies. These aren't spicy, they're just pretty. And a little hit of the shug on top. And this is what goes in that shug. So we've got jalapeno, we've got parsley and cilantro, we've got some lemon. Everything's better with acid. In fact, I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of acid on top too. And garlic. Obviously you can put this on a platter and that's fine, but I think cutting boards are fun. I like things that are a little bit higher, that's fun. We can get the other ones out and put them right on there, and then you basically can, again, stand up at the counter and eat them, or sit down, and that can be your kind of, your pièce de résistance. Check this out. We've got delicious lamb. We've got the skug that is officially the cult hot sauce of my life. We've got cucumbers to keep it crunchy. We've got a little bit of red pepper for brightness, and I can't wait to have a bite. Can I have a bite now? Okay, I'm gonna have a bite now. Yeah, ready. 1, 2, yes. You think you like falafels? Wait until you try this. If it's cool, I need you guys to go now so I can finish eating this. Bye.